check due tomorrow? No. The homework check listed at the top over there is what was due Friday. At the bottom, it lists what you should have done so that you're ready for the quiz, okay? 3.3, which was the properties of logs, is on the quiz. And worksheet 7 is like the quiz review, okay? But there is not a homework check tomorrow. All right, so before we start, we're going to start doing SAT questions, okay? Just like one a day. Talk about strategies. So this is an SAT question. It says if B is all this mess and C is all this mess, what is 3C minus B in terms of A? Any ideas? Okay, so it says 3 times everything that's C minus everything that's B. Now, some people right away wanted to pick D. What's wrong with D? Yeah, there's a cubed here. Okay, so D doesn't work. Then, rather than spending a whole bunch of time doing this problem, do you notice that all of these have the same choices? So I looked at the constant term because they're different, right? So I could pick. So 3 times 3 minus 7. Okay. So I didn't do all the steps. I tried to just look at the choices. Sometimes looking at the choices will save you a lot of time. Do you see what I'm talking about, guys? You would have gotten the right answer, but some of you would have spent a little more time working it all out. All right. Worksheet 9 starts talking about exponential and logarithmic equations. The first kind, there's 4 strategies on here. The first strategy says if a problem has a single power of x. We have done these, and there's one on the quiz. Okay? We'll talk more on the one that's on worksheet 7. But we have done these. This is not really logarithm stuff yet. We've talked about that you have to isolate. So you're going to divide by 15 first. That's a 3, sorry. And then if it just said x squared, you would take the square root, right? How are we going to get rid of the 2/3 power? We don't want to do a log. We want to do a log when there's an x in the exponent. There's not an x in the exponent. There's a 2/3 in the exponent. We're going to do the reciprocal power to both sides. So what would undo 2/3? Because if we rewrote this now, multiplying the exponents, we get 6/6, right? 2 times 3, 3 times 2, we get 6/6 here. And 6/6 is just 1, so we just get x. All right, what does this mean, though? Do you remember? You do that without a calculator? What does that mean? 4 to the 3/2. 4 to the 3rd square rooted, or the square root of 4 to the 3rd. Should be the same thing. What's the answer?
8.
Okay. This is 2 to the 3rd, which is 8. This is 64 square rooted, which is 8. The question that is similar to one of these is on the part with a calculator tomorrow, okay? It's not asking you to do it without a calculator. Yes, but we also had notes that said, like, I don't know, the N always goes on the outside and the M always goes on the inside, okay? But yes, it's the same as separating it out as saying cubed and 1/2 power. Yep. All right, what about B, guys? Divide by 3 first. What's that? And that is a 1.2. This worksheet is kind of old and not typed very well. All right, now we could spend some time talking about 1.2 is 1 2/10, which is 1 1/5, which is 6/5. So the reciprocal is 5/6. But if we're just going to type it in our calculator, what would be fastest to just type in our calculator? Yeah. Can we just do both sides to the 1 over 1.2? Can you type that in? So it's 19 to the power of 1 divided by 1.2. You probably, if you have an older calculator, it will look like this. And you need that parenthesis, otherwise it'll just do 19 to the 1 and then divide that answer. Okay, let's talk a little bit about decimals today. If I round this to 11.6 and then I type it back in to check my answer, 3 times 11.6 to the 1.2. I get 56.8. That's kind of close to 57, right? What if I do 11.631? So I do 3 times 11.631 to the 1.2. Then I get 56.998. Is that better? Okay. The more places you carry on these kind of questions, especially if you go to try to check them, it will be more accurate, okay? I'll talk more about that on another example. I would accept 11.63, but please go out at least 2 places, okay? These are the ones where you're going to worry about taking the log of both sides. What you're looking for is a variable and an exponent. If a problem has a single exponential expression, in other words, a variable and an exponent in one place, you isolate that term and then take the log of both sides. So be careful. You don't do the log right away on this one. What do you need to do first? Divide it by 50, and you get 3 to the 2x equals 25. Is that right? Okay. Now, when you go to take the log of both sides, you can do any kind of log you want. You could do the log base 2. You could do the log base 3. What are the 2 that our calculator does for us? Base 10 or natural log. You'll get the same answer, whichever one you choose. Okay? If we wanted to do natural log, just because it's shorter to write, doesn't matter. You can type it in a second and check that you'll get the same answer, but what's the next step, guys? We still don't know what x is. Remember, this can go out in front. That's one of our properties we need to know for tomorrow. So we have 2x times the natural log of 3 equals the natural log of 25. All of that is except the x is stuff I can type in my calculator, right? So, I don't know. Most of you would probably do this maybe. 25 divided by natural log of 3, and then you would take and divide that answer by 2. If you wanted to multiply 2 times the natural log of 3 and then divide it over there, you could. Or you could put an extra parenthesis down here and divide the 2 with it. But however you're comfortable, do it whatever you want, but let's triple check that we're all getting the same answer then. After you went ahead and divided by 2, what did you get? I round to 3 places. Okay. This is one, if I rounded that to 1.5 and I put it back in, 50 times 3 to the power of 2 times 1.5, I get 1350. It's off by a whole 100 from 1250. Okay. If I use 1.465, and type it back in, yeah, I get 1250.07. Does that seem a lot closer to what we were supposed to get, which was 1250? All right, moving on. First step, divide by 6.6. So we have 0.5 to the x equals, I'm actually going to just leave this so that I don't have to do any rounding until later. Okay. Then we're going to do what? The x is in the exponent, so we have to take the log of both sides. I'm going to do log this time. It doesn't matter. Where's that x going to go? It's going to go out in front. And then, yeah, I need to divide both sides by this log of 0.5. So that I just have x equals 3.0. Yeah, everybody make sure you type this one in. You could try it with ln and ln. You'll get the same answer. .044, or it's 0444 if you want to go more places, something like that. Anybody having a question? Stuck? Okay. Can you try this one? What are you going to do this time, though? Yeah, I'm probably going to want to use ln, right? Because what will happen... Oh, whoa. I canceled that.
You just crossed it off.
Yeah. Is that 600, guys? Thank you. Okay, when you take the ln and you put the 0.5 out front, 0.5x, why did we bother to use ln? Because the natural log of e is 1, right? So we didn't have to type that one in. So we're just going to get ln of 600, and then whatever that is divided by 0.5. Oops, if I could write, we'd be in good shape. 794. Okay. Okay, so if you plug with that many decimals, it comes back 90,006, which is pretty darn close, right? Okay. So how did we know to take the log of both sides? We did that when x and the exponents. Good job. All right. This one, when there is a single log expression somewhere, you isolate it. And then I always say rewrite. A lot of your teachers probably last year said exponentiate both sides, and I'll show you both. Before I do that, though, but help me out. How does this rewrite? Because it's on tomorrow's quiz. B to the P equals N. You can go back and forth between those two? Everybody's going to be okay tomorrow? All right, so let's look at this question. Right now, it says the log of 2x plus 20 equals 3. I don't know how to solve. But if I rewrite, this is base what? So I have 10 to the power of 3 equals 2x plus 20. Now, a lot of your teachers last year, and it's fine. I have no problem with you doing them this way. But this is what they did. They said, we're going to exponentiate both sides. Do you remember doing this? Because then 10 and log cancel each other out. And over here, 10 to the third is 1,000. Is that exactly the same thing I did? Yes. This kind of feels like magic to me. And it's okay, but the rewriting will reinforce what it really means more than just magic of taking each side and exponentiating. But I don't care. I don't care. If that makes sense to you, do it that way. Okay, can you solve the rest? I think you get 490. Someone else get that? All right, so what are we going to do on this guy? Divide by 3. So then we have ln of x plus 2 equals 2. Now, yeah, some of you are going to want to go like this with a giant E, right? Or you could just rewrite it as e to what power? Okay. E squared equals x plus 2. This way you'll get x plus 2 equals e squared, I guess, if you keep it on the same sides. All right, so that one you just type, if you wanted an exact answer, whoops, yeah, not that. The exact answer would be this. Okay, but if you get a decimal, 5 point, what more time, guys? Thank you. We good? All right, when there are several logs, let me first of all tell you what someone's going to do. Someone's going to do this. And they're going to decide, ooh, I got 10. 4 plus 6 equals x. No, I'm not. I'm making up this question.
Oh, I was really confused.
No.
I thought you were doing A, and I was like, what?
No, I'm not doing anything up there. Someone's going to do this, and we can't. Okay, if we wanted to solve this problem, we could rewrite these how? What's the condensed version? Log of 4 times 6, or log of 24, and then now can we get rid of the logs on both sides? The only way this is true is the log of this is equal to the log of this, so we'd have 24 equals x. But you can't randomly look up here at B, guys. You can't randomly go, oh, I'm just going to get rid of all those. Yeah, that's the ticket. No, it doesn't work that way, okay? All right, back to our first part A. What can we do on part A? It says condense them into one log on each side. So what could we do to condense these? Yes. Plus, when you have two logs separated by a plus, it means multiply. Oh, there's no log on the other side of this one. So what does that mean we're going to do? We're down to a single log, so we need to either exponentiate or rewrite. What's our base? So 10 to the third equals 2x times x, or 2x squared. So we have 500 equals x squared. Now, normally we should remember a plus or minus. This does simplify to 10 square roots of 5, or you can give me a decimal. If the original question had said the log of 2x squared equals 3, you could put in a negative, because the first thing you'd be doing is squaring it. But the original question said this: can you take the log of a negative number? No. That's going to be an issue on tomorrow's quiz, okay? There's going to be one that says, what is the log base 3 of negative 9? And you have to know you can't do it, right? Not possible. All right, so the answer to this is only positive. So you could write the decimal approximation for that. I don't know what the square root of 500 is. That's the weirdest looking 22 little squished thing I've ever written. Okay. What about B? Ooh, we need to condense on this side. What do we need to do? And you could do this problem a whole bunch of different ways, because you could actually add the plus ln of 3 over the other side, and then it would become multiplication on that side. But where does this 2 go? Yes, it moves up here as an exponent. So then we have x squared. Okay, now what? Minus means divide. So I rewrite this side as now what? Now I can get rid of those, right? Because there's one on each side, so they have to be equal. Then if I multiply the 3 over here, I have 36. I'd have plus or minus 6, but originally it said ln of x, so yep, it's got to be positive only. Okay, can you guys try these 4, please? Give you 2 minutes to work on those 4 at the bottom. See what you get. So who all is gone today? Monica, Riley Cox, Jared. Michaela, does someone else usually sit in your row besides Monica? Camden. Thank you. I was missing somebody else. I haven't had hardly make out all day. 4 people. Anybody get a decimal for the first one?
Yeah, 4.581.
That is what I have, 4.581. Oh, thank you. Doop. See how fast I write? 70 divided by 4 to the 1 divided by 0.4. I did get a big number on this one, 1281.
How the freak am I getting?
What are you typing?
Okay, so I'm doing 70 to even in the parentheses 1 divided by 0.4.
You got to divide by the 4 first.
First, that makes sense.
Anybody else getting something different? Got a question on that one? You okay, Omar? No? Is that one messing you up? Oh, you divided it out? Yeah. 150 divided by 60 was 2.5. But you got the same answer at the end? Okay. Yeah, I just didn't. Okay. This is an easy one we don't need a calculator for. What's going on here?
You multiply
This becomes x times 3, single log, equals a single log of 48. So we have what?
3x equals 48.
Some of you had that one done? What do we do first on 4? Divide by 3, and we have the log x over 2 equals 2. Then what? Okay, or rewrite it as 10 squared equals x over 2. 100 equals x over 2, so 200 is x. Perfect. Didn't need a calculator on that one either. All right. So what you need to now be starting to work on is page 196. You could also get 11B done, okay? Some of the rest of that assignment is on like Newton's law of cooling and stuff, and we're going to talk about that on Wednesday when we're together. Tomorrow's the quiz. All right.
The yellow sheet you gave us is all the stuff that's on the homework check, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. The worksheet 7. This is everything you need to know for the quiz, along with the stuff that was on the extra worksheet on Thursday, which basically was just remember that there's some graphing on the quiz. A lot of people today had a question about that, so let me throw that up here real fast. Actually, let me just do this. On your quiz, you will have 2 of these questions. You will either have this or this, and you will either have this or this. I'm telling you right now. And it's on the no calculator part. Can you graph those without a calculator? 3 accurate points, 4 accurate points, something like that? Okay. This one, 2 to the x, if you put in a 0, is what? Put in a 1, put in a 2, put in a -1, 1/2. Which tells me, what about this graph? You have to know that those are inverses of each other, okay, guys? So then when you go to graph this one, you will get here, 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 here. And when you go to graph this one, you will get 1, 1/2, 2, 1, 4, 2. Will be over there somewhere. Whoa! You'll get this shape. The questions asked for each of those are domain, range, asymptote, and intercept. What would it be for this one? Because remember, if you put negative numbers in, it's going to get smaller and smaller, right? Symmetry, asymptote, I mean. You can either write x-axis or you can write y equals 0. Yep. I don't care what you write. Intercept. Okay. This one. The log. Yeah. It's the inverse, so the domain and range should switch, right? The asymptote should also switch to what? The y-axis, or x equals 0, and the intercept will be 1, 0. Now, if I did 3 to the x or log base 3 of x, I don't have any numbers on my little graph, so the graphs would be identical, right? Or could be. But instead of this being 1, 2, it would be 1, 3. Instead of this being 2, 1, it would be 3, 1, and so on. Can you do those without a graph? Okay. What do you want to talk about? You want to go over the no calculator questions? You want to go over the expanding and compacting? Every other class today has asked me about number 6. Do you know how to rewrite number 6? This is the 1/2 power. So we have log base for u v w to the 1/2. you can move that out in front so that you have 1/2 log 4, and then all these are multiplied, so they change to what? So you'd have log base 4 of u plus log base 4 of v plus log base 4 of w. You can distribute that 1/2 and write 1/2 log base 4 of u plus 1/2 log base 4 of v plus 1/2 log base 4 of w, or you can just leave it in parentheses, I don't care. What's different about number 5? Yes, this would be 2 log base 2 of x minus 5 log base 2 of y. Are we okay on that? It's really messy, sorry. Number 12? 12 or 14? Actually, I think there might be one like 14. Can I do that one instead? This is just the reverse of the question we just did, because these dividing by 2s are really just 1/2s. So this is the log, the square root of a times the square root of b times the square root of c, because all the pluses would become multiply. So that could be rewritten as square root of ABC. What is this going to do, though, down here, guys, with the 1/3? This is really 1/3 log base 7 of x plus 1/3 log base 7 of y. Yes, this is times x to the 1/3 and y to the 1/3. And I need you to realize that that's what? The cube roots. Okay? Please don't leave it because I will not give you full credit. Cube root of xy. Right. What about the ones at the bottom? These are the ones you have to evaluate without a calculator. I don't think I used numbers quite as big as some of these. Does anybody know what this would be? 6 to what power is 216? 6 times 6 is what, guys? 36 times another 6. Yeah. Okay. Don't let it get too big too fast. Don't take a wild guess. Use your multiplication if you have to, but that one comes out 3. What is the one that's no solution? Can't do. Cannot take the log of a negative number. Morgan, did you start to ask a question? Which one? Or that one? Yeah. Let's do a couple easy ones. Can anybody find an easy one? 21? Okay. 2 to what power is 16? 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, so the answer is 4, right? All right. What's one that looks hard? 19 is weird. Yes. How could you rewrite 19 as an exponent sentence? Okay, that's kind of messy. Yeah, it is the reverse of one we've already done, but what most of you would have to think about is changing these to a common base. This one is 6 cubed, and this one is just 6 to the first. Does that make sense? So now 3 boxes equal 1, or 3x equals 1, which would be 1/3. It is the kind of here, okay? 6 to what power is 216? This is saying 216 to what power is 6? It's the cube root. So it's 1/3 power. Where's another one that looks funky? 18? 18 is likewise very strange because we have 49 to some power is 1/7. Can you write those both as a power of 7? What would 49 be as a power of 7? So we have 7 times 7 to the 2x, or 7 to the 2 somethings, equals, this is what? 7 to the -1 because it's in the denominator. So if we divide, we have 2x equals -1, or we get -1/2. So it's 49 square rooted and then put down in the bottom. Did someone have another one? Okay, this one's easier than it looks. 1/7 to what power is 1/49? If you rewrote it, this would be 7 to the -1 equals 7 to the -2. Yes, because so it's just 2. It looked hard. It did. All right, I'm going to talk about a few things on the other side. The calculator questions, you will get to use your pink strip. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take the first half of the quiz without a calculator at all on your desk, nothing on your desk but your pencil. Then you're going to turn it into me, and I'm going to give you another sheet with 7 questions on it that you can use a calculator and you can use your little pink formula sheet, okay? Now, the first question up number 12 right here is a compound interest formula. It says how much is in a savings account. So they deposited $2,000. It is growing at 6.8%, so 0.068 compounded monthly to the power of 12 times a year. They're compounding it for 3 years. The formula will be on your pink sheet. Everybody okay with that one? All right, this is the one I'm kind of worried about because it says find the what at the end. Okay, so can you think about setting that one up for me? No, I'm doing 13. $5,000 did something and it grew to what? Okay. What can you tell me? 1 plus R to the 10 years. Tyson, are you with us? Okay, so 5,000 was growing exponentially by some rate for 10 years and became 7,500. We practiced this today. What did we do? We divided. And then we did, yes. What does that come out? 75, does it come out nice? This is 1.5 on this side, right? And then, okay, I'm sorry. Then we do both sides to the 1/10. 1 plus R equals 1.041 something. Subtract. Now, you can either leave it like this and just tell me R equals, or you could make it a percent. It would be like 4.1% is the interest or growth rate, okay? But remember, if you're going to put the percent symbol on the back, you have to move the decimal. You can leave it either way and I'll take it. All right. How do we do 14? Read it to yourself. Think about it. Use your calculator. Why? How do you know I need to use my calculator? It is a monthly payment, right? Anything with payments is an awful formula unless we use that app. The other thing is it says annuity. So what are we going to put in? Do you remember how to find it? Because if you bring your calculator up to me tomorrow and go, I don't know how to find that thing on my calculator, I'm just going to shake my head, okay? If you're doing the homework and the practice, you know where to find it. It's apps, finance, enter, TVM solver. N stands for what? That's on your pink sheet. So what are we going to put there for this question? 40 years of monthly payments, so 40 times 12. I is 7. We don't move it over. Present value? Yep. We're going to make payments of 25, and you can put it in as positive or negative. Whatever you get out will come out the other way. Future value is what we want to figure out, right? And then payments per year and compoundings per year are both 12. Oh my goodness, I don't know what that says.
You know what I'm thinking? That I should put $25 and choose the
Okay, 65,000 something, is that right? Okay, I'm getting different answers from people. Oh, okay. I thought somebody was saying 600,000. 65620. Okay. Do you want to write that as a negative? No. Okay. It says the balance of your account. If you wanted it to show up positive, you would have had to put in negative 25 for payment. It doesn't matter. Just don't write the negative down on your answer. Okay. Anything else on any of those sheets anybody's looked at, freaking out about? How would you know to use PERT? If it says continuous interest, okay? Continuous interest. And those words are on your little pink sheets. All right, guys, so study for the quiz, finish worksheet 7, ask questions if you need to tomorrow morning or something. And then start working on worksheet 11B and or page 196.